Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 3v3 ladder matcher on the most amazing Noxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1, also known as the Blue Team in the Northeast, and ending with Team 2, also known as Red Team in the Southwest. Starting off with Team 1's Eastern player, we have in Royal Blue, it is Azure Phoenix, definitely aptly named there. He is a UEF for this match as a 1660 rated player. To his west, we have in Stitch Blue, it is Schumer. He is a Seraphim as a 1612 rated player. And last but not least for Team 1, it is Neon Marine. He is an Amethyst Purple. He is a 1988 rated player. He's the highest rated player on Team 1 and barely the highest rated player overall. So for Team 1 side of the map, they are missing an Aeon, which means they have one Cyber, one Seraphim, and one UEF. Starting off with Team 2, Chevy Crimson player, we have Lucid. I think that's how you say that. He is a UEF for this match as a 1733 rated. To his east in Ruby Red is Blood Am. He is a Cybran as a 1553 rated. And the only Aeon in the game is a bunch of letters. I have no idea how you pronounce that. I'm going to call him X for short. Is the first letter in his name. I'm not even going to attempt that. I do apologize if you are watching. I just can't. No. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have an Aeon, a Cybran, and a UEF, which means they lack the Seraphim faction. Team 1 lacks the Aeon faction. So all factions are represented in this game, but not on each team. And for these 6 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 2,200 mass. Not great, but you know, it's something. The map does make up for it a little bit in the mechs department. Taking a look at Team 1 side of the map, they have a quad mechs and another quad mechs right here, right next to one another, and then another quad mechs. So each player on Team 1 will get one most likely. If not, it'll go 2 for the rear guard air slot. Make sure his mechs are protected. Also, there's a Trimex position in the middle of the map, and then one on the western side near that little pond. There are some mexes dotted around in between those, and there are some kind of in the middle, but not really. And there also is another Trimex on the eastern side as well. So there are mexes to go after. There's a decent amount of open space. It's not a completely flat map. It might look like that. There's a tiny bit of a basin. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Tiny bit of a basin, so you know it's relatively a flat map, but there's a little bit of curvature to it. Taking a look at where players are headed off to, looks like everybody on Team 2 headed east. Nobody went north. We're looking at Team 1 side of the map. One went south, one went middle, and one's going west. So that definitely a little bit more, not traditional, but what you would kind of expect in these sort of 3v3 ladders. That each rough lane being air quoted there because everything's kind of just open, has one comm in it. We do see Team 1's Schumer and Lucid are going to stack up. He's going for an upgrade on board that comm. 5.5 minutes. Not a super early upgrade. It's definitely aptly placed because he is in the middle of that. We do see that in the west, Lucid, his mirror going for an upgrade as well. So it is definitely going to be a 1v1 with a little bit of additional assistance from Team 2's Blood Am in terms of the gun v gun affairs. Some action going down in the southeast. X going after Azure. Azure might just not have enough firepower nearby to assist. He's going to retreat. I do like that wreck there where it's a nice little angle so nobody can use it. Definitely smart there. Gun is done for Lucid. Will this gun finish for Schumer? There is a T1 PD to assist him there. And he's going for a radar system to get some, not vision, but intel going for his side of the map. We do see some frontline facilities being knocked out for Neon Marine. 70% and rising. There are some Team 1 Lobos nearby going after the comm. And they're going after the Team 1 PD emplacement, which they will almost knock out. We do see again Lucid leading the way with Blood Am, bringing up the rear. The upgrade is about to finish for Schumer, so he's not going to leave. He's going to take a little bit of damage. The first comm-on-comm action has occurred between Schumer and Lucid. We do see gun is started for Azure in the southeast. And then again, no real confrontation here for Team 1's regular set play of Now Marine. So he can, fight decently well against no commander or even some forces. There's just a couple of things up there, nothing too crazy. But Schumer is being forced back by Lucid. Bladan bringing up the rear again, taking out a couple of those other Team 1 units, getting some veterancy under his belt so we can get to his first star pinned to his chest plate. Lucid at 8,000 hit points and falling. Schumer at under 4,000. There are more units inbound from Team 1. It could be a murder-suicide. It's starting to look that way. Below 2,500. Lucid dropping below 35. Schumer does get away under 1,000. Lucid now in the red. Does have a lot of forces around him, but we do see Bloodam nearby coming to assist as well. So this will be a pushback in the middle here for Team 2. But Team 1 is not out of this just yet. There are some reinforcements and bombers inbound trying to kill off Lucid's com, dropping him to, well, almost 1,500, but he gets a rank of veterancy, so he's back up to 3K. So it is a close call for both of those players. One goes for Nano immediately. Definitely don't blame him there. And we do see now Nyamarine is trying to chase down some Team 1 strikers, trying to just get away from him. More mechs is being taken offline. Again, early harassment. Love to see it. Is it a end-all, be-all? No. But it does give a lot of breathing room on this western side. Pretty much, besides the fact that Nyamarine has fallen back, there's no real focus on this western side. Looks like Team 2's Lucid really trying to just shove it down Team 1's throat directly. Cut up the middleman going north and then east. Just go straight diagonally towards that main bases of Team 1. Southeastern corner. X has no upgrades on board. Gun and Nano done for Azure, and that will put him firmly in the lead for a powerhouse over there. He easily walks out of the land. He's in range of that comm, and that's a dead comm. So X has to be careful. Of course, he probably doesn't know that he's there, so, you know, just one of those things that we get to know, but he does not, at least currently. Nano started for Lucid. Again, don't blame him there. He's back up into the yellow, but again, he's going to be on the front lines. He needs that extra hit point regen. Schumer almost done with his upgrade. He's probably about 70 or so %. I wish those texts didn't go away, or the whatever the heck you want to call this little text hologram, not hologram, but like highlights or whatever. When you switch teammates or teams, because, you know, I go to the Lidam, I don't see it anymore, even though I was seeing it earlier, but it could just be a feature of the mod or bug of the mod, one or the other. T3 air online for Team 2 and Team 1. Team 2 gone for more of the gunship approach. We see those restorers online for X. He has sensor package online, which is really going to help. Unfortunately, though, Azure is over here, and that T2 upgrade will be canceled. Wall section going to try to stop the movement of the comm, which, I mean, it's going to do a tiny bit of maneuvering, but nothing too crazy. And looks like he's going to just retreat. I don't blame him. He has some nasty little thing flying overhead, and that upgrade does restart for X in the south. Let him getting a nice forward operating base online. Again, Schumer back up into the mid-yellows. T2PD has been deployed, upgrading that shield emplacement as well to cover not only himself and a couple of structures around him, but he's also probably going to get at least one or two of these mexes over here. If he gets up to 4 should be enough, but I think he might have to get to 5. 5 looks maybe too big. Maybe 4 is going to be enough. Those are the ED4s, ED5s, the names of the upgrades for the names of the shields for those Cybran ones. Again, that is the one benefit though of Cybrans, is they can upgrade. Again, it costs a little bit of time and effort and whatnot, but you do get a full shield charge once it's upgraded to, so that is a little bit of benefit there. ASF's flying around, buzzing around for Team 1. A couple of Rhinos getting overwhelmed by a lot of Team 1 spam. As much as it's usually the case of quality is better than quantity, there is a case as 1,000 of anything kill anything. So is it great? No, but at a minimum, love to see that strategies be deployed in terms of spamming as much as you can, or going for the more buff units. We do see one Rhino does make it past at least some of those forces, but it will get caught and it will die before it inflicts some damage. We do see Lucid is pushing in, and Schumer out of position on the western side, coming back to assist. T2PD not really going to slow down Lucid's comm. Shield emplacement about to go up, and it will finish, so it will protect that radar system at a minimum. But That's pretty much about it. Team 1 bombers overhead trying to deal with this force inbound from, who is that? That is Azure roaming around trying to deal some kind of supply line cutting here in the middle of the map. T2PD opens up on Schumer. He's being tickled to death, and he's dropping hit points very quickly, and he has Nano on board. So that's a lot of hit points to lose in a short amount of time. But you see Lucida's dropping hit points as well, but Schumer walks back into tickle cannon range. Probably not the best idea there, and those tickle cannons actually get distracted by the Ilshis, it looks like, or they just focus on him instead. Again, there is a tendency to go for the calm. Sometimes there isn't. Sometimes there is, depending on really what the match looks like. In this situation, if he were to go down, for that example, either Azure, probably Azure, if not, Neon Marine would get a secondary base. His eco would be scaled considerably. It'd be a huge jump for somebody on Team 1, and they can get the T3 and maybe even a T4 unit out very, very early, which is probably the reason why those guns change targets. But sometimes it's nice to just get the kill and be done with it. But you got to think not just one step ahead, but 5, 10, 30 steps ahead if possible. We do see that roaming band of units here for Azure has actually gotten bigger, and that is not great for Team 2. And that band is actually going to link up with the Calm. Calm has, again, still gun and nano, so decently beefy. Doesn't have the shield to be super beefy, but, you know, it's getting pretty beefy. Region Aura started for Schumer. He only has nano and gun, which, again, still those two upgrades are great. And with the Seraphim tech, you can get to advanced for both of those. Interceptors just body a couple of gunships, and we do see some Interceptors fighting off against some ASFs. ASF's going to win that fight every day of the week. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. And just to point out, it is a Cybran air player versus an Aeon air player, which means in large numbers, the Aeons will win the fight in the air. Just we've seen multiple games now where it's comparable numbers for both teams, but one team has all or mainly all Cybran ASFs, and they just get absolutely annihilated. So that is something to watch out for. Small numbers, it's fine. It's not a big of a concern, but those large 300, 500, 600, 900, it makes a difference. And we do see that roaming band of force actually go all the way into the air grid for X. X getting some T2PD online. He'll probably save a couple of the mexes, but the main target is going to be the P-Gens. Yes, it's good to take out mexes for your opponent, but in the air specifically, you can knock out an air grid pretty quickly. If you, oh, that is not what I wanted to do. Did not mean to grab that. There we go. That's what I meant to do. T3 Pigeon has been targeted. I don't think it's going to be enough, and it's being regened as well, so no, it's not going to be enough damage to take that out. Unfortunately, they got a mex out of it, but besides that, not really worth it in my opinion. But again, you know, it does focus your opponent to build more PD, to spend that mass on that. And he actually, lovely play by X, actually control Ks them, scoops up the mass, and funds it into other projects. Very smart play there here by X, and he gets that mex online very quickly as well because of that. So great use of that. But again, we're starting to see a little bit of a concern here for Team 2. This placement here for Azure is on Team 2's side of the map, and he's slowly inching his way there. Of course, he's not just full speeding ahead kind of thing, but he is getting a decent forward operating base online. We do see the same thing is happening for Team 2's Bloodam. But again, the problem with Bloodam is that the sides could easily just collapse on top of him and essentially just sandwich him in and kill him off that easily. No escape for him kind of thing. So he has to be careful how long he sits. The longer he sits here, the better it is for Team 1 to be able to kill him off with a nice little rush from either side or both sides. Roaming bands of now Titans running around here for Lucid in the northern side. He's kind of shifting a little bit more of his focus on that hop lane, if you want to call it that. I haven't played that game, League of Legends, in a while. It's been ages, probably, shoot, a year. I wouldn't say a year, maybe 8, 9, 10 months maybe. It's been a while since I played it, but I still will probably always refer to it as top, mid, and bot lanes, and then of course jungle and everything else as support for bot lane. ASF fighting over top here. It looks like Team 2 is going to win that fight. And that's going to be a great victory for them. They'll have a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to air power, and especially with Team 2's X already going for gunships, or thought about already going for gunships. more and more. That's going to give them a little bit more leeway to just run around with those things. Titans pushing in on the middle and the north, and of course the main force diverted this way. And this group of Titans goes, that's enough. And there is a decent amount of reclaim here because of that ASF fight moments ago. 20,000 mass. Let's see how close I can get. And about half of that is essentially on Team 1's doorstep. The problem is there are Titans, and they are guarding the wrecks, so it's going to be a little bit more of a hassle to deal with. Laser cancel for Neon Marine. He has Nano on board now. I think that's everybody on Team 1 that has at least Gun and Nano. Gun Nano Regen, and Gun Nano. Team 2, it's Sensor Package and T2, and then it's Gun, actually not even Gun, it's just T2 and Gun Nano. So a little bit more focus on defense / engineering suite support kind of thing, versus Team 1's all just full send it with a comm situation, which they've already kind of fallen back with that anyways. So yeah, it's nice to have those upgrades, especially the Nano, but the gun isn't super useful if you're sitting in the back line. But it's nice to have just in case. Titans coming in will be annihilated by Schumer's comm and that Otham. And that will be the end of that engagement. We do see again a little bit more poking and prodding on this position. More Team D needs to be deployed. The shield is going to drop, but it is upgrading to ED5. Wow, it's already ED3. Look, sorry, 4. Look at that. The 13,000 hit points. It's actually covering the 2 mexes here. And there's that one kind of in no man's land that probably will not be covered. So that is denying mexes for Team 1 at a minimum and actually gaining something from it. In terms of the mex overall, in terms of eco, it is 650 versus 460. So Team 2 almost 200 mass in favor. A little bit concerning, especially in a 3v3 map like this. Can easily get overwhelmed in terms of units running just amuck on the edges or just straight down the middle. So that is something to be concerned about for Team 1. They're going more defenses, more PD, more shields, more TMD, that sort of thing, which gives Team 2 a little bit more operating room, a little more wiggle room to move around, especially with the air fight being won by Team 2. It's just kind of driving that point home. But Team 1's not out of it just yet. We got a lot of time left. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And nobody has died yet. So maybe this will be the first game I ever cast where nobody dies and it's just a surrender / just departure all at once sort of thing. It could happen. It has probably already happened in the history of Forged Alliance Forever. I mean, the probability is low, but thousands and tens of hundreds of thousands or a million, however many games, that's, what is that, 1,000 million, yeah, so multiple millions of games played. There has to be one ladder match or something that had nobody die in it kind of thing. Just has to happen. Anyway, you know what, Non-Marine drops below 2,000 hit points. Those Perseus absolutely annihilate him. Had they actually been chasing him, that probably would have been a kill. Shumu moves in to assist to cover his teammate. The Othams will die, but the remaining Perseus will get back, or at least somewhat, to friendlier territory. As I was monologuing about some nonsense. Now Marine drops, but he's repping up pretty quickly. 90 hit points a second will do that to you. So he's getting back up into the yellow. We do see that Omni online. Oblidan probably wants that thing taken offline so you can start cloaking and moving into the middle of Team 1's bases. We do see Omni online for Team 2 in the south as well. This isn't a super big map, so the Omni has full range in terms of seeing at least everything in terms of radar. Omni, of course, is a different story, but everybody can see everything on this map. It's just small enough. And speaking of Omni, it's now down. That is not great for Team 1. They need that intel gathering station online long term or just forever. Can't go without it. Large air grid still expanding upon here for Team 2's X. And it's scaling pretty quickly here. Team 2 at 700, Team 1 at 560, 550. So that eco lead is roughly staying about the same for now. But Team 2 starting to finish off their T3 mechs upgrades and, of course, trying to expand to as much as they can. Team 1, same situation. But their outlying mechs are not, of course, built or rebuilt or whatever the case has happened. Forward operating base online with a nice little missile launcher here for Azure. He's actually killed off 5,000 mass with that thing. I'm going to kill off another T2 mech that's about to be ringed. That's very unfortunate. There it goes. There's already engineers here to try to rebuild, but that's got to hurt. That's, potential 9 mass a second wiped off the board. We do see Schumer underneath some assisting shield coverage, but unfortunately for him, he's being hit by Percy's, and they hit like a freight truck. Man, those things just pack a punch. And in a 1v1 affair like this, or if it was a 1v1 affair, the Percy's would still win it. But with the 2-1, almost 3-1 odds there, not super great for Team 1. Random thing landed on the ground? Don't know. That wasn't a missile. I don't know what that was. Oh, no, there was something out there. I guess it was a missile, but it was going after something, I guess. You know what? It just hit on the ground. Almost 30 minutes on the clock, and pretty much everybody has gotten to the late stage, or the mid to late slash starting to think about end-game stage of the game. ASF stacking up tons of interceptors for some reason for Lucid, or Lucid. I just want to say Lucid, but it looks like Lucid. That's a lot of them. Just 100 interceptors sitting there. That's all cannon fodder is what that is. We do see Team 1's Azure actually has his own ASFs. I don't see a T3. He was donated those. He did not build his own T3 air headquarters. We do see Team 1 starting to push back. Percy's now appearing here for him. Love to see those units fly around the map or run around the map. If they could shoot while they're flying, that'd be really OP. Air grid has been expanded upon and still is, and now they're being dual rained on those mexes, so X is really pumping out the mass income. He is the leader for the game at almost 400. Bladam not having a lot of mass under his belt, while everybody else in the game is at least over 100. He's at 57. Granted, his forward operating base has lasted for a while, and I say lasted because it's not going to last much longer. Shield emitter is down. Artillery piece is going to die. We see some Percy's going to try to assist, but it's not going to last much longer. Omni needs to be taken offline in Team 1's opinion, or Team 1 side of things, which it will be here shortly. Yep, there it goes immediately offline. And it looks like there will be a little bit of a more no man's land in the middle of the map from now on. Nano repair advance started here for Schumer. Does he have the nano? No, he does not have the advanced regen, so just the regular one. And teleporter has been started for Numbering. He has laser. Ooh, we could see a telemaser at 33 minutes. I mean, he's almost done with teleporter now, so he's going to have to teleport, find a target, and then jump in. Couple of Percy's running down here. Again, Restore is not good at air-to-ground weapons, but at a minimum, they can put out some damage, and a thing in 1,000 of anything sort of thing. And the teleporter is now done. Does he have a target in mind? He does have a target in mind. He's going to teleport all the way back to the edge of the map. We'll see if that ends up working out for him. There are restorers nearby, so it's not like they're flying in the middle of the map or whatnot. They're back here. That could be an easy response. ARAS started for X. And there goes the teleportation. And I don't know if he's going to walk or not, but it's probably going to be his death, actually. SMD. No, that's Oblivion. That might look like an SMD for a moment. Fat Boy started for Lucid. Actually almost done with it, actually. And Omni is online. Restore is now called back home. They see the target. And now Marine running around. He's going to do some damage to the air grid and some mexes as well. That's going to hurt, but it's going to be the main air grid is going to be the focus. And I think he's going to be not making it home for dinner tonight. He promised he said he would get there, but he has to break that promise. And there he goes. First kill of the game goes to Team 2 after the teleportation from Non-Marine. It is now a 2v3 in favor of Team 2. And no, it is not one of those games where no one dies. It is unfortunate, but everybody made it past 30 minutes, so that's always lovely to see. Monkey in the middle here for Team 2 pushing in. There's nothing really that can stop it. There's a decent amount of Percy's, but there's also a decent amount of Percy's here for Team 2, so kind of evens out. Air grid, T3 air headquarters still fine, but a lot of the air grid is down. It will not neuter, but dampen Team 2's ability to rebuild, but not entirely, which means even if Team 1 takes the air fight and loses it, it's going to be a little bit of time for Team 2 to rebuild, but it shouldn't be that long. There is an air grid still being expanded upon back there. Chicken almost started, and I thought I saw a crab running around. At least maybe one was being built. Fat Boy done for Azure. Oh no, it's back here. That crab is being built. Molecular gonna try to reclaim that FA before Blood Am. But there's not that much remaining here for Team 2 to fight against. There is that chicken being built to the north, but it's gonna take a minute. The crab, same thing. Fat Boy's online though. That's probably gonna give that monkey a little bit more hesitation for moving in. And once that Fat Boy comes into range, I think the monkey's just gonna retreat. Fat Boy should be in range here shortly. Yep, there it is. Shots have been fired. Percy fighting. The monkey just gets absolutely annihilated by said Percy. He's not escaping that. Mass will be on Team 1 side of the map. Very unfortunate for that monkey lord. Just got one tapped essentially, and that was the end of that conversation for that monkey lord. Sam's run, says Nya Marine. No, he's fine. Fat Boy, Percy's nearby. All that should be more than enough. Huge conga line of Team 1 P-Gems hanging out over there. Southern side of the map. Azure is still hanging out over here. Gun and Nano on board. Not leaving there anytime soon, I guess. Team 2 has no idea he's there, so that could be a surprise at some point, but I don't know if he's going to just spring the trap at some point. I mean, there's a couple of units inbound, but nothing too crazy. It's a couple of bricks. They'll take out the shield emitter. They'll probably not take out the base. They'll weaken it at a minimum, but they won't take it out. The Fat Boy will probably have to come in and finish the job. Interceptors and ASF stacking up here for Team 2's Lucid, so it's building a little bit of mix of both, but just really just stacking up those numbers. Kind of not inflating them, but kind of inflating them, essentially giving Team 1 a false sense of, oh, there's a lot of stuff that's coming at us kind of thing. And that's a couple of shots that are going to be distracted from those ASFs from Team 1. And the ASFs just go and get full annihilated. More interceptors inbound. And yeah, that was not the time to use those. So that's just dead units for Team 1 to scoop up at that point. Probably should have get those over to X maybe, but maybe he just wanted to get rid of them is one way to do it. In my mind, if you're just going to get rid of units, go back to your base or something, control K them, and then you scoop up the mass. Like, I don't get taking a fight that you're not really going to get much from or anything at all. But maybe he just didn't want to deal with it and just wanted to get rid of it, which I don't blame him in that regard. Just getting rid of it, being done with it, moving on. Not a bad thing in its entirety. Spend your 20,000 mass, says X. I will do. Does he really have 20,000 mass in his bar? Oh, yeah. No, look at that. He has 20,000 mass in his bar. Does X have 20,000 mass? He also... Wow, look at that. So, 2 players on Team 2. Okay, let's see. Does all 3 of them have it? Nah, 2,000. Okay. So, they have mass to spend. You're going to build a Fat Boy, Colossus. So, Team 2 have experimentals running around at this point. Same as Team 1, but there's 2 Fat Boys and a crab and a chicken. I think. There was a chicken being built. Oh, there it is. It's now done. That's why I can find it. Air fight over on the eastern side. Team 2 will take it, and they're going to win it no matter what. It's not no matter what, but pretty much no matter what. There's also some AA nearby for Lucid. Look at this. They've isolated the southeastern corner, not even knowing that Azure is still there hanging out. And there's the Colossus running around. Should be another one built here shortly. There's a Fat Boy over here. I think that's all the experimentals for Team 2. 2 Fat Boys isn't super concerning in terms of the critical mass of Fat Boys. Again, on this map like this, 4 is probably going to be that magic number. I mean, it's a small map, small-ish map. There's only 3 players on each team, so there's a little bit less worry in terms of I need, 8 of them or whatever. But a decent amount of bombers from Team 2 could wipe them out entirely even before they reach their main target. So it's just going to be one of those things. Team 1 is making a push, and if they keep the Fat Boys online, it could be the thing that wins Team 1 the game. Unfortunately, there are Fat Boys being built by Team 2, and that might kind of not cancel out, but might not help the situation at least. Fat Boy down here, way out of range to do much of anything, let alone defend. Colossus hanging out. We do see that Colossus for Team 2's X is almost done. ASF's having a nice little donut celebration over there to the south. Most likely wishing that they had a donut to go hide in. Colossus going to full send it. And again, maybe they'll kill off the Fat Boy. If the Fat Boy continues to charge, I think the Colossus might just go for the Fat Boy and call it a day. And that Fat Boy is not Fat Boy. That Colossus is not going to win that fight. Ooh, Pigeon's not super supplied for Schumer. Has to fix that. Colossus just dead to rights there. Just absolutely got annihilated. No hope of doing much damage to anything. Fat Boys are actually pulling back just a little bit to be a little bit more safe. New Fat Boy online for Team 2. Colossus online here for X as well. And of course that Fat Boy is returning back home. It's going to be a little bit of time to assist, but it's going to be out of commission in terms of fighting for at least a little bit. New experiments are done for Azure. That is that crab. Nuke online and more than half. Ooh, more than half loaded. Does Team 2 have an SMD? Yes, they do. Is it loaded? It's about to. And if that SMD goes down, that might... Oh, there's a backup one here, and that one is loaded, so it won't be entirely dead. We do see that pings going down. There is an SMD in this base already loaded with 3 anti-nukes, so Team 2 is prepared. So love to see that. New Fat Boy is coming online here shortly. Already half done. Crab pushing in. Colossus hanging out. 2 Fat Boys behind it. Every NG is idle, says X. Looks like they're going to spam some Ravagers. I mean, that could work. Probably T2 artillery would be... Oh, it depends. If they get close enough, the Ravagers are going to make the difference. Looks like Colossus is going to full send it again. Probably not the best idea. It's going to buy a little bit of time. ASF's over top, going to intercept the one from Team 1, and Team 2 is just going to win the fight. Restorers inbound, a huge stack of them. And there's also some broadswords in there, so that's a good combo to have. Best AA gun and best air-to-ground gun. And that just might be the case here for Team 1. Those mainline experimentals are going to go down. There goes the crab. There goes the chicken, essentially simultaneously. And then once they go after the Fat Boys, that might just be the enough work for Team 2 to get enough mass to do something with it. Oh, SMD is in range of the Fat Boys. The Fat Boys going to try to go for it. They will grab it. Unfortunately, there's still 2 more for Team 2, and that's probably going to be enough. Nuke should fire probably right about now. But oh, no, maybe not. Maybe we'll just zoom out and then go away and then forget what I just said and then come back, and it's going to fire anyways and be annoyed that I missed it. Fat Boy inbound. That one from the corner. Finally in range, and now it's going to help cement Team 2's victory. Got a veterancy there for that Fat Boy. We'll keep it alive just a bit longer, but not enough. Huge reclaim field here for Team 2, and that's going to go to Team 2. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Current mass sitting on the map, 235,000. Nuke has been fired. Now, they could just launch the nuke and kill off the mass, but they probably want a little bit more punching power with that, so they're going to go after a target. They're going to go after the air grid, but that SMD is loaded, and it's loaded one after that. And there's 3 loaded there for Lucid. I don't think that's going to be enough. They need a lot more to punch through. There goes that. Oh, both of them fire. Yeah, that way. X is like, is that a YOLO? No, that's a regular nuke. And now Marine's like, yes, it's a YOLO. But both of them fired because the first one took long enough to where it's like, okay, I got to fire the second one. Very unfortunate. If Team 1 can load that nuke fast enough, they could kill off the air grid. So it's going to be a race to the bottom. That nuke took 2 strategic missile rockets to shoot down. Well, it didn't take 2. It's the first one missed. Very, very unfortunate. Ooh, that's not great. That could be the thing that brings Team 1 a little bit back in this game. Air power is just overwhelming at this point. Team 1 needs to dig in with a lot of AA to really just keep it going. Crab over here. Again, there is an AA weapon on board that thing. Is it great? Absolutely not. Is it better than nothing? Absolutely. Nuke is about to fire. How's that SMD? Oh, not far enough. How's that SMD loading? Not great. Ooh, not good. And if it kills after the P-gens, good luck trying to load it. Looks like the focus is on Colossi right now. 2 Fat Boys in the middle for Team 2. We see gunships over here to the east. They are whalers, so a nice little mix of restorers and broadswords. UEF artillery says Nya Marine. I don't know if he says they're building it or it's going to be built. Oh, no, there's a Cybern one right here. SMD is not loaded. It's been rebuilt, though. Nuke needs to fire immediately once it's loaded. I do not see what he's talking. Oh, no, that's a Fat Boy. It's not. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about with UEF artillery. Oh, it says guys go T3 artillery. That's what he's talking about. Crab is down. All those gunships coming in. Not a great day for those land forces over there to the west. Nuke needs to fire, like I said, if Team 1 has any chance of getting in this game. Not getting in, but staying in this game. Once that SMD it's too late. SMD's going to load in time. And that's going to be that. That's unfortunate for Team 1. I mean, that double SMD loss missile fire nonsense was very not great for Team 2, but they were able to load it in time. We see gunships running around. They're going to get absolutely annihilated by those ASFs. ASFs can take essentially any number of losses, and it's really not going to matter at this point. 3 Fat Boys slowly getting on that critical mass of Fat Boys. Artillery started because why not? And gunships just growing in numbers here for Team 2. He's still in the water down there. He has not left. Team 1, or sorry, not Team 2, Team 1. Team 2 has just not bothered to just like, hey, is there a calm down here kind of thing. It's like, it's fine. And those Fat Boys are pushing. There's a counter one for Team 1. There's a chicken in there as well. Nuke is outbound. The Nuke. Oh, if it's fast enough. I don't think it's going to be. I think it might clip one of them, but no, that's too far away. Yeah, it will clip it, but kaboom. Doesn't kill off anything. Unfortunate. How's the Nuke loading? It's half loaded to another one. But it's 3 Fat Boys versus 1. I mean, just by the numbers, Team 2 is going to win that fight. And there's some bricks over here to the east. Units moving in to intercept them. Where is that ball of gunships they're holding over there to the west? And ASF's moving. They're going to just airlock Team 1 at this point. And the gunships are actually mixed in there as well. There's a ton of gunships here. Artillery was started, but is going to get denied. Very unfortunate, and some restorers actually died because of the PGen AoE explosion. And it's just going to be the death of the air grid. You're going to try to reclaim them fast enough, but they're not going to get all of them, of course. The Nuke is right there. The Nuke will die. There that goes. Team 1 doesn't have anything left in the tank in terms of long range, anything else. Team 2, of course, building artillery. 2 of them actually building artillery. And it was a well-played. It was a really well-played game, but just Team 2 was able to gain air control and just keep it, essentially. That's really what kept Team 2 really in the lead in terms of powerhouse of the game. And there goes that set of PGens. Team 1 just does not have anything left, realistically. Gunships going after Schumer. Oh, he got protected just at the last moment, but there he goes. So Team 1 loses another player, and then Phoenix recalls. So essentially, one after the other, he actually just control K's no matter what. Anyway, that is the game here, folks. A little bit more of a shorter game. I did speed it up a little bit in some instances, but it is nice to kind of just have a, I wouldn't say more basic match, but just a relaxed match. Let me know down in the comments what you felt about the match. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. An MVP for me, I got to give it to X. Gaining that air control, keeping it for the entire match really is what kept Team 2 in the driver's seat. That one land push was, I think, Team 1's last-ditch effort. And because it didn't work, it just fueled Team 2's really late game. So had the match gone on any longer, we would have had 2 artillery pieces, essentially one after the other. And it really wouldn't have mattered at that point. And then, of course, the SMD not actually hitting its target. Very unfortunate, but nothing big, crazy happened, so no real issues there. It would be unfortunate had Team 1 been able to fire the nuke and it land and kill off the air grid or whatever else it was going to kill after, and that SMD had fired 2 nukes for 1. It does happen from time to time. It is annoying. Usually I've only seen it where you'll have a couple of SMDs lined up and 2 will fire, like 1 of each, and then the third one will fire because the missile comes right in its range and just the system didn't detect that the other one was fired at that point. But it's really the only instance I've really seen it, and it usually only happens with YOLOs where that third one fires, of course. But again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one.